wondering why I'm on Scratch right now, this is a free coding site. And well, you can probably tell over here, I just opened up a new project and I've named it Underscratch. So what this is going to be is this is going to be a game that has the same gameplay mechanics as Undertale, but a completely different story, none of the same characters. And I'll be sure to put that in the finished game. Like, don't yell at me for copying. Like, that was the point. Okay, so, so this is what you start with whenever you open up a new project. You start with just this blank project with just the default sprite. And we're going to name this sprite the player because it's what it is. Okay, so we're obviously not going to use this default thing because we're going to still go with bitmap, which is a lot more pixelated. So since I don't exactly know what the character is going to look like yet, we'll just go with a very basic black rectangle. So they will need to increase the size of that. Yes, we'll just start with like a black rectangle and we'll just put like a few legs on there. Or two, yeah. Obviously this isn't going to be the final character design. I'm going to make it look good, but for now might as well just go with a very basic thing. We'll have a little circle. So that'll be your character. I mean, obviously not, but that'll be just like the character to start with. We don't need a costume to just yet, and I won't animate it because once again we're gonna get rid of this, and it's probably a bit big, so let's paintbrush or select. So we're gonna knock it down a bit in size. I think that's good. So let's start with actual coding now. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this variable that you get on default to game state. And essentially what this is, this game state, it's essentially going to tell the game like what is going on and what you can do. So game state 1 is going to be walking. I'm going to actually put this code in the backdrop because we don't block. So we want to do when start clicked if we want forever. So this is going to be like the biggest probably coding block here. Is going to be essentially what the controls are. So if game state hold on. Yeah, game state equals 1. We're going to need that. Change that to 1, grab game state block. Game state equals 1. Then And now we're going to add the 4 if-then blocks for the coding, for the movement. So we'll start with arrow keys. I don't know why I always like using arrow keys better. Don't yell at me, but it's just something. Down arrow. Okay, now we're gonna go to, first thing we have to do is we have to make sure it only turns left to right and doesn't go, like, so when he goes up, he doesn't flip upside down. So we'll go, point in direction, oh, which way is 90? 90 is right. Negative 90 then, for left. 0 for up, 180 for down. There we go. That is the movement. Oh wait, actually no, we have to move 10 steps that we actually move. Whoops. So this is essentially going to allow our character to move. There we go. It's very jittery movement, especially when oh, I know why. Because it's not centered. Yeah, it's centered now. So when we click play, the movement won't be as jittery. And you see it will move faster when it's diagonal, because you're moving 20 steps at a time instead of 10, because you're holding down 2 arrow keys. And I will keep that. And actually what I'm going to do right now is essentially I'm going to share this. And so you guys, or if you want to, you can go onto this. You can see the URL up here. You can go onto this and you can see how far along I am with the coding. So, hey, sorry, someone just walked in. So, first thing I'm going to do, this is a game. Mechanics. Undertale. I'm not very good at typing. Jeez. Okay, so now what we're gonna do. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna set up the battle system for, not really setting up the battle system per se, so much as just like what is like the backdrop for the battle system. Whoops. Make sure this is still centered. Make sure I didn't mess this up. I did not. Okay. Backdrop. So this is backdrop 1. This is going to be the backdrop for movement, and I'm not going to change that because there's going to be a sprite that's just all the different rooms. So this is going to remain this. This is going to be games state 1. So when start click, well actually what we're going to do is we're going to do forever, and essentially we're going to have a bunch of if-then blocks with all of the different possible game states. And it will that will tell this which backdrop to use. So first, let's get the next backdrop. So this is going to be, well, first what we want to do, convert to bitmap. Oh, wait, no. First thing we're going to want to do is get a massive, just black box behind the screen. Crap, I just made a bunch of extra ones that I didn't need. No, I didn't. Oh no, I absolutely did. Oh, that's weird. So you can select certain bits of it, even though it's technically still one thing. There. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we are going to name this game state 2. Not WJ2. Outlined. I forget what color this was in the game. I'm pretty sure it was like a weird, like yellow or green. We'll go with like an orange, but like a more light orange, like that. Yeah, that looks good. Move this around for a bit. Don't know why that's happening. Okay, so I'm actually going to convert this to vector for bit. Why can I not select? Oh, it's all one thing. Hold on. If we go back to bitmap, we're just going to ignore what just happened. Oh, wait, hold on. Filled. There we go. If we're going to do that, we're going to convert to vector for a bit so we can actually outline to be that weird orange. Yeah, something like that. And the fill we don't want. Pump up the thickness of that for a bit. That works. Now we want another one with a completely white rectangle. I'm going to bump up this thickness a bit more. Maybe to 13. Oh yeah, that looks perfect. And so this is essentially what I'm building here is going to be the battle screen when you're actually fighting the enemy. And so what we want is, hold on, what color is this? 12, 62, 100. Then we're going to want to get another one of these. Oh wait, I already have the same color, so I didn't need to know that. I'm going to do a second one like so. And actually, we're going to want to definitely drop down Well, actually by like a lot. Because this is going to be the perfect... This is the perfect attack one. That's about centered. Copy. Oh my gosh. Because we're going to copy that one. Move it over here. And it looks not very good. I get that, but that's just going to it's just going to be how it starts. Not the best looking battle system until we like it's going to get refined later. And then for the third bad attack, we'll go with like that. Perfect. So that's essentially the basics. Go to the code real quick. If game state equals 1, then switch backdrop to game state 1. Okay, so there we go. So when we start, that backdrop will be eliminated. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new sprite. It's going to be painted, but it's going to be nothing. And essentially, this is going to be debug. And I know there's probably not very many bugs yet, but this is just essentially going to be stuff that won't be in the final game. And it's just code to help me interact with some of this stuff when I need to test it. So for example, now, when key... Alright, arrow. When key 2 pressed, want if set game state to 2. So essentially when I start and I press 2, that'll happen, and we'll do that with game state 1 as well. I'll have to do it out of order for a bit. Oh wait. Okay. So very simply, when we start, that'll happen. And then I can alternate between the two by doing this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is a little thing with the player. We're going to, and once again, the characters in the game will also have different costumes based on which game state they're in. Most of them will only have 2. The player will have more than that, but most other characters will only have their game state 1 and battle sprite. So this one we're just going to paint, and this one is very simple. Go to white. Oh wait, no. Outline we want black. Fill we want white. And there you are. That's better. And we want very simple and thin. Oh wow, we need to turn that to like 1. Hold on. So you might already guess what this is. You can probably already guess what this is. What this is, it's gonna go along the screen like so. And when you press a button, I think it's probably going to be space just for ease, it will stop, and that will be the damage you deal depending on which rectangle you get in. These two in the outer will be the same, and the two inner ones will be the same, and this one will do the most damage in the middle. So what we're going to do is just put a little bit of code into this. If game state we want equals, set that to 2 as I go to controls, yeah. If game state equals 2, then go to this, these coordinates. I like how it's automatically set for you. Like if you drag this to, if you drag a sprite to a certain coordinate, it'll change over here. Not the reason it's not changing is because it started and we're on game state 2. So let me just stop that real quick. So like if I move this sprite, you can see over here that this changed based on where the sprite is. Essentially what this is going to be is we're going to want a repeat until block. We want X position, and we want an equal. Actually, we want that and then an or, because you can press space to stop it as well. Whoops. Hold on. X position equals 50, which is obviously not correct. The last X position would be 20. We'll go 210, so it's a nice round number. And the other thing that would stop it would be the other thing that would stop it, hold on, go here, key 1, we don't want that, we want this to be space.
Talking to somebody? I didn't know.
Sorry about that. So yeah, key space pressed. And then that will, and what it will do is it will point in direction 90 and move 10 steps. We'll see how fast that goes. Why did the backdrop change? So there we go. So you can see that that's working. It's immediately cycling back, which I guess is fine. Oh, it's not going to stop. So we want this to be, okay, we'll change X position equals 210 to X position is greater than 210, because otherwise it's not going to stop. There we go. So you can see that that's just cycling until either I press space, like so, or until it reaches the other end. But it is cycling over and over, and I don't want that. So we are going to what am I gonna do? Oh yeah, I'm gonna try and stop this from cycling. Then steps, and in which case it'll undo. So what we will do here is essentially add a wait until block, and we'll wait until game state equals, say, 3, because I think 3 is going to be you get attacked, but since since it won't cycle once game state equals 3, that should stop it from doing that. So what I'll do now is I'll go to if then key 3 press, then change game state to 3. Actually, hold on, I might make my own block in order to make this a lot simpler. So this would be actually, I don't know how I do this, so I won't make a block. Yeah, so I think that's how I will do this. So once game state... Wait, why is this cycling to start? Hold on. Oh, because it is game state. So what I'm going to do is add like a little wait 1 second. That way that won't happen. Come on. There we go. So that won't cycle through and that'll stop. Okay, that's perfect. So I think that's where I'm going to leave the video off, guys. Thank you guys for watching until the very end. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notifications, and be sure to check this game out. I mean, it's in very, very early development, like as in it's not really a game at this point. But, you know, just check it out. If you have any ideas, be sure to leave that in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.